listening to Nasty Knuckles, the Hockey Outlaws podcast, with your hosts, Derek Nasty Sotomayor and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer, Riley Cote, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. Time to face off.
All right, welcome back. What's happening, Nasty?
What's up, Rigarelia?
Looking fresh today.
Oh, my God, I'm feeling unbelievable.
3 showers deep.
3 in, you know? Not yet.
Nice and clean.
Not yet.
There
I
you
am
go.
clean. I'm nice and clean today. How was your weekend, buddy?
Started off Thursday night
That's right.
at the Crystal Tea Room.
Yes.
Flyers Casino night. Saw you there.
I saw you as well. Looking sharp as hell.
Yeah, you too.
I'll
All
tell you-
buttoned up.
Oh, trying to be. What an event, man.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah, they keep improving the event itself. I think that's a third year in a row they've done it. And
Was that the first time in the Wanamaker building?
yeah,
Crystal Tea
first
Room?
one there.
That was a
and
nice place. I've never been there. How the hell have
seemed
I
like
never
a-
been there as long as
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, wow, this place is pretty unreal.
they made it, everything they did. I don't know what it normally looks like, but I
Yeah.
mean, it was
Big
really
space,
nice.
and it seemed like, well, certainly an upgrade space-wise. Not that the place last year was, I think it was called V last year, but the amount of people that showed up.
Yeah, I couldn't
it was
believe it.
crammed
I
in
didn't
there.
realize it was going to be like that big. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, hell of an event, and all the boys were out. I think the
Yep.
whole team was there.
Yeah, it looked like it. I didn't see Torts.
Apparently he was there, did a quick hot lap.
Okay.
Disappeared.
A Macalap, Dave McIsaac.
Pretty
that's what we
much,
used to call
just
it.
float around, show face.
Oh,
and-
so he did show up. I
well,
wanted to
that's
see
the word on
him.
the street. I
Yeah.
didn't see him, so.
Saw Mr. Hilferty and
Yep.
everyone
Danny
else.
B and
Yep.
a few of the coaches
Yep.
saw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so-
AP and Vinny talked to them
Did you
for
see
a
them?
little
I
bit.
didn't see them.
Dilly, Kim Dillenbaugh, talked to him a little bit, trying to get Elvis in that draft in a few years.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not.
Prime him early.
Definitely kidding. No, but it was awesome to see the guys catch up with
Yeah.
them a little bit. And, it was such a cool event and great to talk to all the guys and catch up for a little bit. You know, a little break for them, It was
Yeah.
pretty cool. It was really
Yeah,
cool.
it was nice. Nice night out.
Yeah.
Get all dressed up, Nas. I know you do that every day, so.
Gave my boy Frosty a little pep talk.
Oh, yeah? You got him going? I saw that.
See?
He's back.
He's back. He's back.
A little tippy.
No, he's been snake bit so bad this year. I feel bad for him. But no, we were just laughing. We were really talking about Steph Curry. We were talking about hoops. So saw Tip, Yorkie, all the guys. We saw everyone, was able to say hi, and it's really cool. Really cool event. I didn't get to go last year, so
Yeah.
it was fun.
Yeah, looking forward to next year.
Me too. That was awesome.
Wonder if they can outdo this past year. Think so?
I don't know. It
It's tough
depends
one.
if you shave that beard. Could be a
Upgrade the venue, upgrade the food.
Did you
Trimmed
eat?
up beer?
Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
eat? Did you eat food?
We had some sushi.
Yeah, a little sushi.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pretty,
All right.
pretty solid.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, good grub there.
Since we last were together with the Brown dog, Dave Brown, Flyers went 1-1-1. Yeah, we lost to Carolina last Wednesday night, 4-1. Carolina's got a good team, man.
Yes, they
Roddy
do.
just doesn't matter who he has them buzzing. They're
Yeah.
a fast team.
They are fast.
Even Big Burnsy in the back there.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't move like he used to, but he doesn't get caught out of position. He's just so smart,
He's so smart, yeah. He just makes the good hard plays.
Yeah.
Like the moves the puck up, gets pucks to the net. Yeah, he's
he
maybe not
does.
as mobile, but yeah. he
It's
gets him.
impressive he's 40 years old, I think, or close
Yeah.
to it. But 4-1 loss there. But come back Saturday, big 3-2 win, comeback kind of win, like down 2-0. Peter Mrazek looked unbeatable.
He did.
For a little bit.
At least the first 2 periods.
Yeah, and then Flyboys find a way.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Good crowd on Saturday.
Yeah, it was. And I know, both the teams are more towards the bottom of the pack, but the Flyers looked really good.
They did.
Well, at least in the first period, and
Yeah.
blended in the second there, but like some grade A scoring opportunities.
Yes.
They look like
They were getting their
hot.
chances.
They were getting their chances
That's for sure. The big rig had to bury one. in
Yeah, he
Philly.
did.
You knew
Yeah,
he
and an
would.
apple there too.
Yeah.
He looked good. But yeah, they needed that win. That was
They needed it, yeah.
gutsy win. Obviously, Michkov scoring an OT. What a play!
Yep.
Backdoor pass there by TK, who was
Not
on
bad.
fire too.
Yeah,
Obviously, we all know
yeah,
that. But
he is.
yeah, necessary.
Yes. Next game, it looks like they're going to be Vegas up 3-0.
Yeah,
Usually
they're in
it's
good
the
shape.
Flyers coming back, fighting back, but it was an entertaining game.
It was
a really entertaining game. Ended up losing 5-4 in the shootout, but it was an entertaining game.
Yeah.
You'd like to grab that extra point there.
It would have been nice. Yeah,
Play
Vegas
well.
got such a good team there too. They got some offensive guys, some veteran offensive guys.
Yes.
Like Eichel, the way he shoots the puck, man, and just like slows
just
down the
glides
game.
on
Yeah,
the
he just
ice.
looks so smooth and I'll say casual, but he makes it
Right.
look easy.
Well, he does look casual.
Yeah,
That
the
was
way he
kind
rips
of the rip on him a little bit. That maybe he doesn't. He doesn't look like he's giving it his all. A little bit like Nylander, just kind of looks like he's on cruise control. Next thing you know, he's got 3 points.
That's it. They're just efficient, those guys, right?
Yep.
The way they move and the way they engage in the play. They know how to conserve their energy and when to pounce. I think that's probably the gift that I certainly didn't have.
You didn't?
Just pouncing all the time. Time to pounce. No,
Your heart rate was 180 every
Yeah, well.
you're on the
And
ice.
then my version of pouncing was probably a little different than theirs.
Yes,
they're
a little
seeing
bit.
holes to
Little bit.
Yeah, to get an offensive chance. And I was just trying to kill somebody.
Yeah.
But
It was good to see Johnny Stevens.
Yeah.
Little Rambo drawing up a play there at the end, or maybe it was the defensive timeout, where they called a timeout there, and he was drawing something up. But love old Rambo, Johnny. Matvei, 8 goals, 9 assists through 20 games, 17 points. I believe Baller said he's leading the league as far as rookies goes, and it's what we were thinking he was going to do. I mean, if he keeps up this pace, it's a little bit higher than we expected on points, but it's a long season. You got a lot of games left.
yeah.
So,
But I mean, I don't see him slowing down. This guy loves
hope
to
not.
score. He's always in position.
Yes.
Like, at least on the offensive side of things. Like, he just finds those little holes in the, say in the slot, in the side of the slot. Super smart player. So, I mean, the pucks are going to keep coming to him.
yeah, it's like we talked about before with players on a higher level seem to know where to be. Like, I'm not
Right.
putting him with Sid and those guys, but I mean, Matvei does have a nose for the puck, and it finds guys like him. It was funny. I found it funny when he scored the one goal. He was talking to Kolosov, and it looked a little bit like Kid Rock there with his hair and the hat and everything. But he was telling him something, and Bush was actually commenting on it. But then he and Frosty were talking, and it looked like he was having a full-on convo. Like, he was definitely saying more than 2 words. So,
I wonder what they were saying.
great pass. Just keep getting me the puck. I'm open, score.
Yeah, right, exactly.
No, I don't
Keeping
know.
it simple.
What's that? He was. I don't think Matvei probably knows who Steph is. If he's talking to Frosty every day, he's going to hear about Steph
I'm
Curry.
sure.
No, but I was laughing a little bit because obviously he's learning every day, but it looked like you were talking more than like pointing or So he's communicating, and that line played well together. See what happens there, but you brought up another rookie, Celebrini. You were just talking about him a few minutes ago.
Man,
What a
highlights
special
with this
player
guy,
he is,
yeah.
man. Yeah, it's
Eyes
fun
off.
to watch.
I mean, any of these young players out there, like, study. Well, all these guys, they're all elite in their own way, obviously. But this guy's eyes, like, he
God.
never looks down.
No.
And the way he handles the puck and just keeps, I don't say cradling, corralling, and squaring up the puck, but then eyes up the whole time and
Yes.
just rips it
It's amazing.
on cue and just makes it look easy. So
He does.
for a young guy to be, again, that dynamic with the puck, I mean,
I know.
it's incredible. But so is Michkov and so is Bedard and these guys. And
all those guys.
it's just interesting to see. I don't watch a whole lot of the San Jose games, but to see this
You don't?
guy. Well, I don't
I
stay
thought
up
you
that
were
late
up.
now.
Oh, you're
I'm
a
in bed
baller
before those
message
games
him.
start. Yeah,
Yeah, you're in bed way
yeah.
before
So these
the
are
game starts.
definitely checked on the highlights.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, just always nice to see elite players doing what they do best and working at their craft and how easy they make it look. It's just
They do. It's crazy.
effortless. But
It doesn't quite look like that when I'm playing men's league.
well, we're gonna get Baller to pull that clip,
I'm not pulling that clip.
dude. I think it was a saucer pass for Mac, or he just laid it in there on your men's league game the
Well, I
other
gave
day.
him a little sauce first.
Oh, a little sauce
And
first and get
but
it back. A little
I
give and
blacked
go.
out. Then I blacked
Close your
out.
eyes, black out, and then you backhand.
It was
Cheese.
It was luck.
We
It was
have
luck.
to pull that from
We're
Live
not
Bar.
pulling that.
We're showing it.
No, it's
Talk about
embarrassing.
skills.
Lack of skills. Jim Montgomery. Last week we're talking about. I was pissed at Boston because
Yeah.
I feel like
His record was insane.
his record's insane, his winning percentage, and I just, who knows what's going on inside because they're not going to say it. But either way, 5 days later, Monty's the head coach of the St. Louis Blues. And it was funny when I was at the rink, a couple of the dads, they're like, how many teams you think there are any teams that would fire their coach? And, like the next day, Armstrong fires Bannister and brings in Monty.
That's a power move.
Who was in and I mean, and you know what I liked about his press conference was he just told it like it was. Look, we just feel like he's a really good coach, and didn't say you suck, Bannister, but like just called it like it is. And I think that's what I'd like to see happen more. He just said, this guy's, I feel like he's a better coach.
I respect that, right? I mean, if you want to make the team better and there's an available coach like that, and you lock him up for 5 years.
And he gets 5 years. We have a group chat with the 98 team from the Phantoms, and guys are just going nuts.
That's so cool.
It was really cool.
When I saw that, I was so pumped. And I don't even know him that well. I mean, not as well as you, obviously, but you go in 5 day span. You go from what the hell, bottom, bottom of the emotions, and then the other side of things, how quickly that changes.
Part of me wonders if when that happened, Army called him as soon as he heard.
He probably knew
said,
right away.
Give me 2 or 3 days.
I'm going to work something out.
I want you because he worked with Chief there as an assistant, and I guess Army really liked him. Obviously, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So, congrats, Monty.
Yeah,
Didn't take long, brother.
No,
5-year deal.
You're probably right, though. Like that call, that text message probably happened as soon as the firing was announced.
Yeah, it probably did. So, I guess their last 3 coaches they've had were hired within, I think, 8 days.
6, 7, 8
was the most.
Yeah, 8, right, yeah.
Claude Julien was like, 7?
Yeah, Cassidy was at 6.
Cassidy was 8, I think, and then Monty 5. So
it's crazy.
Pretty wild that their last 3. Says a lot about the coaches, right? Like to get hired that quickly.
It's also saying a lot about management. I'm not really sure what to think about that, right? It's
it could.
Maybe they got to shuffle the deck upstairs there. I mean, what do I know? I mean,
I think Sweeney kind of said that after he fired Monty. If this doesn't work,
fire yourself.
You're gonna fire yourself? I doubt it. Yeah. But anyway, congrats, Monty. Got his first win in New York.
Yeah, I saw
5-2 win. That was awesome.
Schenner presenting with the puck.
Got the puck, and then they're handing out Kelly Chase. God bless him, man. He's fighting
those old
for his
paper
life.
thin shouldies.
No shouldies, man, and that's they're handing that out as the player of the game, which is really cool.
Chaser the best in this recovery.
Yeah, he's the man. Chaser's the man. So best of luck to him. He's fighting hard.
Yep.
Sidney Crosby.
Still doing it.
600.
Not bad.
600 G's.
There's only $5.99 off.
You need if you can come back and get 599 rigs. You think you could do it? You're leaner now. You're faster.
A couple lifetimes, baby. Man.
You can't even do it in men's league because you never show up, for God's sakes.
I got to get the reps in.
No, but congratulations to him. One of the best ever, obviously, to do it. 600th goal. It was against Utah the other night. Pretty nice play by Carlson. Sid's like on the goal line.
I know.
And buries it.
That flat paddle now.
Cool. Yeah, it's just like yours. I mean, he did say that's why he used it. He
using the Cote paddle.
He heard in 2004 you came into the American League with the flattest, straightest.
Sorry, I heard about this twig and I want one.
It works. Yeah. We've all seen his stick. It
lefty, righty. Works.
He could switch it over. I think didn't Chelios score 2 one-timers where he had a bad pass and he switched his stick? Sid could definitely do that. You could have as well.
Oh, for sure.
You should have thrown guys off, lined up righty. Yeah. That would have been great. But congratulations to him.
Yeah.
I was looking, I kind of keep an eye on them, and they've lost 3 straight. We've talked about them the last few weeks, but they're 2-5-3 in their last 10. They're just having a tough go. And some of the clips I've seen, I've watched a couple of the games, but he looks really frustrated. I think we talked a little bit about that last week. I would
imagine that it's going to be tough as a elite player, leader, and then having a situation like that.
He's always taking a hometown discount for them, and it just doesn't look like this team's going to be able to do too much.
You think he's regretting that discount?
I don't think he's regretting the discount. I think he's always going to have money, and I think he's going to have a job no matter what. He'll probably end up being the owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins probably at some point, but obviously doing something with them. But their goal differential I saw is like -34 That's tough. You're just
tough.
not scoring. Still, we've talked about this even last year. The guys scoring are the older vets that are still there. They're the guys putting the points up. I mean, Ross, I wouldn't call him old, but anyway, they're just having a tough time.
Yeah.
But congratulations to Sid. He's a great human.
And word on the street now, this is old Kyle Dubas. Doobie is on the horn. He's chatting with old Danny B.
What are you talking about?
The telephone now.
No payphone, though.
No payphone.
No payphones. You were saying that Baller was watching him. He's Hawkeye him the other night in the press box, I think.
Reading his lips?
Yeah, seeing what he was doing. No, I'm kidding. But, he better start doing something.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you guys want Carlson? He's only making $12 million. He don't give two shits about anything. No, I'm kidding. But, he better start doing something.
Yeah, I'm sure there's other conversations going on behind the scenes for both. Well, both
for
teams,
sure.
But specifically the Pens. I would think they're in some bit of panic mode.
Our boy Lindy Ruff.
All rough, Daddy.
Oh, we've
got the boys going.
Buff. They're back in that last wild card spot, but we have 62 games to go. Hey, I was right though. They're there. They're right there with a bunch of injuries. They're still hanging around.
Tough start, but they're.
But you never know, man. You get everyone back. You know what else I meant to bring up? Sorry, just real quick. It was awesome to see Haggy.
Oh yeah, right.
Playing with Vegas. I mean, I wish I would have got down there to say hey to him. I miss that guy. He's such a good dude, man.
Yeah, great teammate. You talk about a pro.
A pro, man.
Really figured his game out.
He did. It was fun. He just used to make me laugh because he was one of the early guys there, one of the first guys to the rake, and he would literally come in, do a quick warm up, and then for an hour and a half he would be sitting in half his gear. He just sat there with his hands folded on it, listening to the beat, watching Jake dance around for that part of it. Then listen to the disco that guys had on. He just sat there and just thought about the game. But I just used to laugh because he would be dressed except for his shoulders, in his jersey. But great guy. Miss him, man. We shoot messages on Snapchat a lot.
Oh, cool.
So he's a great guy, man. Speaking of Sabres, Tage.
He's back.
Oh. Not two people. Tage.
Tage, yeah. They might squeeze out another win or two then.
Yeah, they might. They're getting them back.
Keep going.
Get the boys back.
It's a big addition.
Yeah, it is. I was going to say a big congratulations to Jumbo.
Oh, yeah.
Authority.
You watch those clips?
Man, that was
emotional.
Yeah, it was. I got to know him a little bit over the years, and especially at the Olympics. I think I told the story before, but Mikey Aldridge, one of my really good buddies, he was an equipment guy with me at the Olympics, and he's in San Jose. He's been there forever, and Jumbo was kept coming over to our area. We had our own locker room. Kennan obviously had Vancouver's room, but he was like, "Mike, you got to do my skates," and Mikey's like, "Jumbo, I can't do your skates. I can't do your skates. Right. Trust me, the guys in your room know how to do skates." And I couldn't believe, because I probably would have just, if it was Claude or someone, or anybody from our team, I probably would have given him a little run, but Mikey stood strong, man. He's like, no. And it was just so funny because Jumbo was he wasn't mad, but he was like, come on, man, please. He's like, I'll do this, I'll do that. But, that guy was awesome to watch. And I loved when he said every time he got out of the car with his dad would say one thing: shoot the puck. Not one word, but shoot the puck. And that's what it was funny because the fans are all yelling, shoot. Everyone. Can you imagine if he played Philly?
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. But you talk about one of the most elite passers ever.
Oh, yeah.
This guy. And he could shoot the puck.
He could
that
shoot.
was the funny thing.
He just loved to pass.
But God,
he just went out of his way to pass.
Man, I was surprised Baller hasn't put a clip together, Baller, of Jumbo and all his sick. I mean, no, seriously though, you talk about this guy saw thing. He had eyes in the back of his head. He was so fun to watch for me. And once I got to know him and knew his personality through Mikey, really is how I really got to know him a little bit. I used to take him hats for his son because his son loved the Flyers.
Okay.
And so I would always take him hats and stuff like that. But what a great guy and just a hell of a player and a great ambassador for the NHL, man. You look back, and I don't know exactly why. I could probably do a little bit of research, but why would Boston trade a guy like that? that big, and he was just so good. But it worked out well for him. You know,
Yeah.
he did get to the finals there the one time. You almost wish he could have won, and then he, you know, obviously at the end there he played TO and he played in Florida.
Right.
He was trying, but what a hell of a guy, and it was really great ceremony. They knocked it out of the park.
Oh
San
yeah,
Jose.
that
It
was high-end
really,
production and
really good.
Yeah, I heard a little clip on Doug Murray talking about a story about, you know, Joe and his family helping a homeless person move into an apartment, and just like talking about this selfless act that he wanted Doug Murray to be quiet about, not even saying anything. 'Cause he didn't want to be, you know, recognized for it. He just wanted to, you know, do something nice. But really, just talks to the type of person he is, right? And you always hear like stories about him, like, you know, as a teammate, like just like, you know, funny stuff and being a goofball and all this stuff, but stuff like that, I'm not surprised, you know, that he would do something like that. So yeah, hell of a production. You could just, you know, watching him and the joy, you could just see, like, talk about a guy like loves hockey and loved to play hockey, and just, you could just see it, like, you know, just permeate through his being, and watching the clips and all that stuff. So props to Jumbo. What a hell of a career.
Yeah, it was awesome to see. Our condolences to Mike Hasenfratz, just passed away, former NHL referee. Terrible.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Wish his family the best.
Yeah.
Condolences.
For sure. So it's about that time, Riggs.
It is. Episode 181.
That's right.
With our friend Brian Propp, Guffaw. Let's go.
Let's go.
Welcome back. I'm Riley Cote.
And I'm Derek Settlemeyer. This week, we are very fortunate to have a young man here that played 1,016 games, Riggs. First round pick by the Philadelphia Flyers, 14th overall in 1979. In those 1,016 games, he scored 425 goals, 578 assists for 1,003 points. 369 of those goals were scored for the Philadelphia Flyers. Big author now, too, as well.
Yeah.
Book coming out, or has come out, sorry.
Yes.
Angel on My Wing, a story of faith, determination, and courage. This gentleman's also done radio. I think he's done just about everything, but let's just please welcome Brian Propp to the show.
Hey, guys, how you doing today? Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're
course,
happy
thanks
to
for
have
coming
you,
out.
buddy.
Appreciate it.
Those are some numbers there, Proppy. You put up. We'll get into that in a little bit, but man, those are some Hall of Fame numbers right there, if I don't say so myself. And Flyers Hall of Famer as well. I didn't say that. I apologize. Yeah, very important. What's going on, buddy?
Well, I'm back here in the area in New Jersey because I have a place in Seattle City for the summer, and I live in Florida for the winter where it's a little warmer.
Yeah, smart
but
move.
other than that,
Have an extra room there?
yeah. Well, you just come and visit. But as most people know, like I had trouble staying. Like I have aphasia, and so like the introduction that I said, I kind of get mixed up with words a little bit. But you know that's all behind me because I had my massive stroke 9 years ago where I couldn't talk or walk at the start. So I'm just lucky to be alive. But I'm just back in the area doing some book signings with Wayne Fish. Helped me write the book. It took us 2 years to get it all done, like with a year for the recordings and then edit everything, and then so like it just opened a week ago, and so it's more about growing up in Canada with my dad being a Lutheran minister and preaching in English and German every Sunday, and my two brothers and sisters all 13 months apart, so we had our own hockey team at that time. And then a little bit of hockey, and then after like doing other things after it, and my stroke, and I recovered from my stroke.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Thank the Lord your family was with you when that happened, eh? Because I think you had said before to me, if they weren't, you may not be here with us. So glad to see you, man. What a tough time that had to be for you. But, man, just like your book says, determination, courage, and faith. And you're here with us. Thank goodness, man.
Yeah, well, thanks. And, you know, just it's nice because, like, now I can play golf and hockey, and Riley's done a couple hockey events with me, and we're going to have another one March 22nd at Aston Ice Rink with you 6 former alumni, and split up the 2 teams and raise money for Headstrong Cancer. And I also have a golf tournament May 12th at Riverwinds golf course in West Deptford, and I used that for the Stroke Center of University of Pennsylvania.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of great work. Obviously, with your story, you didn't just recover, but you say you're thriving. You said you're playing hockey and golf. Like, a lot of people don't have the luxury of doing these things again, when they have a big stroke like that. But you're a testament to obviously doing a lot of things well. You tapped into a lot of different healing mechanisms, and you're not just here. You're doing it. And you wrote a book, and you're kind of sharing your life experience, which is powerful.
Yeah, so like it's exciting for me because especially with the stroke, because people that have strokes, they don't do as well as I do. But it took a long time. It took me a year and a half to get better. I couldn't speak at all, so a speech therapist. It took a long time to do that, but. I did a couple other things that helped me, like with the NHL program, had a program in Colorado that I went to, and then I took the stem cells from my hip and recirculated the blood and put the cells back in your body. And so I know right at that time I made a big difference with my speech after that. And so otherwise, because I had trouble talking and getting things out. But I've come a long way from what I've been doing. And just a lot of things that I've done in the healing with the hints that people have, that they have to keep rehabbing and do better. Like I know in the book, my wife has a franchise called Prime Hydration and Wellness in Marlton. It's been open for a year, and I did some NA-Day treatments. It makes a big difference of your cells that have to be replaced when you're older, and so it's a process. But I'm just going to do one today to my 3-month checkup, and it makes a big difference because the only problem I had with my stroke is that my right fingers and the right side haven't come back that well, but with the NA-Day treatment, I still have movement. I can make a fist, and not as swollen as it was before.
Okay, nice.
And so you just have to keep working on things like that. Little things that can make a difference.
100%. Can you expand on what that is, the NAD treatment? Just so
it's a long word, but what it does is the cells in your body as you get older, most people in California have been using it because they want to be younger.
Right, yeah. The anti-aging crew, right?
At the start, it was 4 days in a row of 3.5-hour drips. A drip is like an IV that you have, and then you cleanses your whole system, and it replaces the cells that you need when you're bigger, when you're finished that. And so then after that, and it's every 3 months, it's a 3-hour drip to maintain what you had. And so it's I noticed that I'm speaking more clearly, and I have more energy, and it's just I'm thinking clearer, and so it just makes a difference. It can be expensive, but for most of the athletes that we know, a lot of these guys can do it because what it can do is help for the alcohol and other drugs that
just
they have.
Moving toxins out, right?
Yeah, and then
hydration too. Right?
Yeah, well, it hydrates your whole body as you need, but it goes immediately in your blood, rather than pills and things like that.
Right.
So, but it's just little things that I've done to try to get better and just stay alive.
Yeah, well, right. It's just so nice to see you, see you at games a lot and just see you smiling and happy. Like you said, you're lucky to be alive and you're living every day to the fullest, and it's awesome.
Yeah. I saw a thing on the NHL Alumni Association around your kind of a few of the dates and locations of your book tour. If you want to maybe share where you'll be in the area in the next couple weeks.
Month or so I'll be in the New Jersey, Philadelphia area, until December 20th when I go back to Florida. But I have some games. I'm going to probably go to the Flyers game on the 8th and the 12th. Signing my books before the games on those days, and I've got some Barnes and Noli, and then there's a place on Saturday in Wayne, Pennsylvania, Maine Paint books that I'm going to sell, and I have other events that I do too. Like I have Jersey Man has an event before the Flyers game, December 5th at Live Casino. I'll be there,
nice.
signing some books there, and you just and if they want to go to my Brian Propp website, my brother-in-law has a schedule of all the things that I've got going on. But a lot of these, the podcasts that we have, like you guys have been helping with, getting the word out, and just so that people want to just tell their story or buy a book.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. That's
Say what's up. Before we get into your hockey career, any words of advice for anybody maybe dealing with dealing with the stroke or any sort of condition?
Yeah, I think because as we're athletes, we heal faster and we have more desire to get better. And so I tell people, especially because I worked at for Bancroft for 3 years, their brain and stroke section. And so I did some speaking for them, and I just tell people, never give up, and always do rehab and try to get better and make it more hopeful for you, because I know the guys that I talk with at Bancroft and stroke people, I call them all the time. They need a little encouragement, and so it's a little frustrating because I'm doing well now, but who knows, I could have been not playing hockey or golf, and it would have been a little tougher, but you have your mind that you can work with, and you Google a lot of things that you can maybe help better, and but it's just just for me, the people that have strokes, they have to be patient because your brain has time to heal. Because all the fighters that you guys know that you've been playing with, you have to go through things that the pain and the addictions that they get, and so just don't give up and just keep happy and be happy and love life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, the attitude, the mindset's so important because, as you mentioned, healing takes time. It is a process, and you have to be patient. I think a lot of people get frustrated with these types of situations. So, yeah, that attitude is the most important. So, Nas, what we got? We're gonna get into the career here.
I want to start because I got to start with your junior career, and you talked about growing up. You guys had your own hockey team. One of the things I wanted to ask you is, you jump into your junior career and you put numbers up right away, and you're a pretty young kid, right? Was there a time as you're growing up playing hockey, and where you're from is only 300? Was that correct? 300?
Well, 300 people in my team, Neudorf, but it was right here, at 20 miles from Malville Million. It was Malville Millionaires, a junior B team, and so I tell people I was a millionaire once.
Millionaire for sure.
Because I'm not anymore. I've never been one, but it's just in Malville I had Jerry James was the coach, and we had powerful teams there, and then we had great teams in Brandon with Dunk McCullen, the former NHL defenseman, and then Brad McCrimmon and Ray Ellison and Boschman and all these guys. We had powerful teams there, but it was growing up in Canada. I was only 15 when I started. I couldn't drive because my mom and dad had to drive to the car to the games, and don't have cell numbers or so it was just you and then you on the road trips we met halfway, and you never knew when you'd get back. It was especially in Saskatchewan. It was snowed 3 feet yesterday in Saskatchewan.
Oh, man.
So you might get stuck in with the driving, but it just in Canada it was a simple life. But for me, I didn't really. I just played hockey and had fun, and didn't think about hockey being a pro until my last year in Brandon, where I decided, hey, listen, I could be a good hockey player.
Well,
you put 500.
I was going to say it took you that long to figure that out because you had 511 points in 203 junior games.
Yeah.
Your first year, you had 135 points, 182 points. and then 194 points. That's insane, man. That's amazing. So that's why I was kind of asking, were you 13, 14, 15 growing up, and you're like, hey, I'm pretty good, but maybe you don't know at that point. I know that's fairly young, but that was my point, was like, you put up insane numbers. And it's amazing. When I looked, I think I had seen it before, but when I went back the other day just looking at some of your stuff, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, insane.
That's amazing.
Yeah, well, we had good teams, and like Brad McCrimmon and Ray Ellison were always with me for 3 years, and then we had good coaching and then good players. That made a difference. And like Bill Durlago was one of the gifted players, and then he got hit, but he could have scored 125 goals one year, but he got hurt, and so. But we had such a powerful team, and we won a lot. Like my first year in Brandon, we lost 12 games out of 20, and then the next year we only lost 8. My last season, we only lost 5 games that whole season.
That's fun, eh?
And that's the year when it was a 19-year-old age.
Yeah.
And so, the guys were more mature, but now, it's 16 and 17.
Yeah.
So it's changed a lot for the hockey now because they're not as mature. But it's pretty amazing what we did.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane. And I thought one of the really cool things you just brought up, Ray Allison, who was obviously ended up playing for the Flyers. He went number 18th in that draft. That Proppy went 14th, and also Brad McCrimmon went 15th.
Yeah.
And then you guys end up being teammates again.
Yeah.
It must have been really cool.
Yeah, because at the start, Ray Ellison played for Hartford when Gordie Howe was playing that year. He was 51 years old, so I remember that. And then Brad McCrimmon was with Boston, and Ray Bourque was drafted by Boston 8th that year. And then Brad McCrimmon went to the Flyers, and he became one of the best defensemen with Mark Howe, consistent and everything. And then, unfortunately, he passed on a plane crash 12 years ago, and Pelly in '85, and so. But you just have to love life. And I know here in New Jersey what happened in New Jersey with the Godero is it just and I almost died after my stroke because my son said he saw the scans, and my clot went into my heart and my brain in 3 different places, and they said that they can't believe that I was alive.
Wow.
It's amazing. So obviously you had a very, very successful junior career.
It's been a lot of fun.
I know.
Losing 15 games in 3 years and scoring 500 points must have been a joy to go to the rink every day. Jeez.
Pretty tough to. The losses must have been catastrophic when you lost the game. Jeez, you never lost. I wanted to bring up so you have a great career in junior, obviously really good career. Your rookie season, you come to the Flyers, you make the team, and you're playing on the line with Bob Clarke and Reggie Leach at the beginning. Was that oh my God, were you in awe of them, or did you just kind of?
No, it's different because I always worked hard, and I didn't mind I wasn't in awe of them because they're from Canada too, so they underknew. But Bob Clarke taught me to be a leader and how to where to go. And my first 20 games I played with Reggie and Bob Clarke, and then I remember the first game I scored the game-winning goal and had an assist against Bill Smith and the Islanders, and then so that's a good way to start. And then we lost 9-2, and I was like, wow, is this what the NHL is going to be like? And then we went 35 without a loss after that.
Right, yeah,
so that went, and then we went to the finals against the Islanders in 1980, and that year in 1980, all 4 teams in Philadelphia made the finals. So it was a good way to start.
That is right.
But
just carrying over from juniors. Right?
I used to winning a
I
lot.
was gonna say you're on this 35 game without a loss. So you're like,
this is easy.
This is what I've been doing, boys. What's the big deal? But that was an amazing streak. I remember just always seeing the pictures at the rink about that. And
it's tough to do.
Your rookie year, you play all 80 games. You end up with 34 goals, 41 assists. Hell of a start for a rookie, man. Is it pretty impressive? Pretty impressive. I was gonna say, like, when you first got here, I think Pat Quinn was your first. Was he your first?
Yes,
coach?
yeah, I loved him.
Yeah, what a good man he
Yeah.
was. Gosh, I got to know him a little bit.
Yeah, he had him for a few years, right? I mean,
And then McCann came like a couple years after that, but he was a good coach, and but we had good teams too. Like we had balanced lines, and everyone played for each other. What we had Ben Wilson, and it was tough, and then we had Holmgren, like because. So after the first 20 games, then I switched and I played with Kenny Linsman and Paul Holmgren.
Yeah.
At that year, and then Bill Barber went back to his normal, and then we had McLeish and Paddock and Al Hill and T.J. Gorence, and and then we had Frank Bays, and that was the year that Pete Peters was a rookie, and Phil Mayer was there too. So I'll never forget. Like we had the All-Star game in Detroit. So it was a new rink in February, and so I got to play in the All-Star game. There was 7 of us that in the All-Star game that year because of the streak.
Yeah, right.
And I got to play. Gordie Howe was playing his last year, so I got to play in that All-Star game, and I played with Phil Esposito and Reggie Leach on the line. I had a guile and a goal and assist, but we lost it. But it didn't matter because I'll never forget the ovation that Gordie got for
I'm sure
being
that
there.
must have been something.
So
He's 51, older than my dad's. He's still playing well.
Yeah, how long?
he's still in NHL.
How unreal is that?
It's
I know, that
amazing.
is so cool.
I've seen pictures of Gordy. Just this guy was one of
the
the
arms, just the jacked.
What was going on there? Like we talked to Mark Howe, he's
Yeah.
been on with us, and I was like, dude, your dad was jacked, man. He's like, yeah, he was pretty big.
Pretty strong.
Yeah, he was. Griggs, I'm going to tell you something right now. There is nothing like attending a hockey game live. It's one thing to watch it on TV, but when you go in person, the slam of the boards, everything you can talk about, the speed, the energy, just nothing like it. For everyone that hasn't been or just is itching to get out to a game, you got to go to Game Time.
Best app going, and not just for hockey games, for concerts and other shows. They have a new feature called Game Time Picks. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Now, so you got some experience using the app.
Oh, I do. I've used it quite a few times for concerts last minute. It's so easy on the app. Even I can do it, Riles, and I'm not very tech savvy, as they say.
That is true. I've seen that before, Nast. All-in pricing, toggling this feature shows you the total upfront cost with no surprise fees at checkout. You know what that's like.
I do.
No one likes that.
Any other one, you don't see the real price till the end, and you're like, whoa. But you're right about the all-in pricing. And one of my favorite things is the viewing of your seats. You get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you even buy it, so you actually know where you're going to be.
All right, Nas, I'm going to take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code NASTY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code NASTY, N-A-S-T-Y, all caps, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it, Nast?
Game Time.
Bob McCammon lasted about a year or so. And then Mike Keenan come in.
Yeah.
How was old Mikey for you?
Well, that was good because I liked the way he coached because he wanted to win every game. Like even if you had to play 2 lines to get it to win a game, I love that because and then when you were ahead, then he played the 3rd and 4th lines and then played defense but we were most ahead all the time. But I liked the way he coached. He was fiery and he didn't back up for anybody, but he liked it. After I was like 7 years into my career, and then when he was there, and then so I used to be quiet, but I used to smirk, and just he hated when I smirked because he didn't know what he was thinking, but I was always just like, well, I know what I'm doing. I'm a consistent player. I'm a good player, and so I said, he liked it when you challenged himself, yourself, because he made you feel better, and but we had good teams too. And then in '85, we had Tocchet and Mellanby and Smith and Zezel as rookies too, and then they made a big difference too.
Yeah.
But I liked the way he coached for 4 years, and then you got the stories that he was tough on guys, but you're hired to be like that.
Right, right. Especially then, I think a little more old schooler. He probably wasn't the only guy, but you just always hear the stories. And I was, I got to meet you when I was a kid. My dad was a trainer with the team, and he was always so nice to me. But I would hear guys in the locker room, and I have no idea what's going on. And they'd kind of make comments, and I'm like, he's really nice to me.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a kid, but I'm a
mixed
kid,
bag
right?
of opinions there.
Yeah, he let me. I remember you guys were playing in Washington, and I was visiting my dad, and so I went in the truck with Turk and Sudgy down to Washington, and in the third period, it was the first time they let me. He asked Keenan if I could stand on the bench beside him, and I just handed guys towels and water bottle. But dude, it was one of the greatest things I ever did.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I was kind of like, man, this would be cool to do, and never thinking I would ever get to really do that. But Proppy was always so nice to me. Gave me my Guffaw shirt, which we got to get into a little bit. There was a great shirt that they made, and but I guess the lead into that. You went to a show, I think, in Atlantic City one time, and I'll let you tell the story. But your goal celebration everyone knows it, but I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah, so the Guffaw started when I was in the mid '80s because at the summer, I used to go to the shore area and because I had a house in Margate and then in Ocean City and then now in Seattle, but. Howie had his shows in the casinos every summer, and so I liked what he did, and so one of those days I went to his show and I decided to copy doing a guffaw, which means a hearty laughter, out of his show, and so he heard about it, and he called me in the playoffs, and he said, "Hey, what is this?" And I thought they were joking, but Turk said it was really. And so, but he said, I'm doing the guffaw. Is that okay?" And he said, "Yeah, that's all right." And he did because I trademarked it, and he didn't mind. He had other things going on, so I've stayed in contact with him since. In the last year, I just had dinner with him after his show because he's got health problems too, and so I talked about my stroke and his health and everything like that. So we just keep in contact, pretty regularly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool,
I didn't know you still kept in touch with him. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a neat story. You're still doing it to this day, seeing alumni games.
Yeah.
Firing it up.
But the goalies that we play against aren't that good. So go on and do a guffaw,
Sudgy in net?
Oh, yeah.
Extra guffaws.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot. No, I'm kidding. Oh man, that's awesome. You still keep in touch with him. He's that was great. That was of course, being a kid. I just couldn't wait for you to score.
Yeah, I know, right?
All my buddies were at home. I'm a redneck. I'm from North Carolina, and all we had was ball hockey, and every kid's, soccer. We're playing soccer. We were copying you.
Yeah.
I'm sure I told you that before, but that was really cool. I always thought that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I remember. I was. My dad would never let me down in the locker room. Obviously, the guys were getting ready for a game, and I would stand in the Spectrum in the wives' lounge, you could see down the hall, and I would always just stand there. And I would watch the visiting guys. They would say something to me once in a while, but I just remember you poking your head out, and you're like, "Hey, come here," and he showed me the shirt, and he gave me a shirt. Yeah, it was right before a game, and I was
still have it kicking around somewhere?
Cool. Yeah, I do. But it's at my mom's. That's why I was like, I wish I had it here. But I do have it. I'll get her to send me a picture, and you can throw it on the thing. It's awesome. Yeah. What else you got, Riggs?
Well, I wanted to dip into the '87 Canada Cup.
Yes.
What a team.
Yes. Oh, my God. I don't know if Baller can throw up that roster.
What a roster.
Man.
I mean, talk about that.
That must have been amazing.
Yeah, well, that was the year because the Russians couldn't get drafted, and so they just paid to every tournaments that they played, and so until 1990, before they get drafted. Like the Russians were really good, but it was a 3-game series, international play, and so we ended up playing against Russia every game for 3-game series. Every game was 6-5. We lost one 6-5 the first game, and then the second game we won in double overtime. I was on the ice with Gretzky and Lemieux when he skied to tie it, and then of course everybody remembers Lemieux scoring with a minute left in the game 6 to make it to win the gold. So it was 87 when we went to the finals in that year, and then Hextall won the MVP, and we forced him a game 7, and I was the oldest player in the league at the league for the Canada Cup. Like I was 27, so the oldest player there. But I played in World Championships with Gretzky and Lemieux, and so we know them, and so I think that 87 was special because we had Tocchet and Crossman and Hextall played,
that's right.
and McCrimmon and Poulin were invited, but it was special hockey because it was fast. It was way ahead of its time. Like it's sort of like the Olympics are now, because you couldn't play in the Olympics until 2000s or something like that, and so it was special. And playing with Gretzky and Lemieux, I knew Lemieux because we played against him 6 or 7 times a year, and then Gretzky like a couple times a year. But I've known him for years, and but being a part of that team was special. Keenan was a coach.
Yeah.
That's right.
Bob Clark was a GM, and so it was
a crew.
But it was really exciting. If we lost in two games straight, it would have been not as good.
Right,
But, we have a better story with winning the gold for the Canada Cup.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was looking at that roster. I've looked at it before, but it's crazy. It must have been so exciting.
Yeah, some high level talent on that team.
Yes, for sure. We had Dave Brown on last week. Actually, Brownie was on last week, and we were talking a little bit about like what you were just saying about '87. Those teams, like you went to 5 finals.
Yeah,
and it just shows how hard it is, like to win that Stanley Cup. Yeah. But you guys, like you said, got that game 7, and you're right there, man. Like, gosh, I remember as a kid, I was just devastated. I can imagine you guys were. But those teams you had under Keenan and the way you guys played, it was amazing. You just never gave up.
Yeah, well, my first 13 years in the playoffs, I was in the playoffs every year, and then we contributed. We got into the. The first year in 1980, when we lost in overtime game 6 against the Islanders, that might have been the best time that I could have had a chance to win a Stanley Cup. I didn't know any better at that time.
Right.
And as we forced game 7 in Philadelphia, we usually probably win that.
Right.
And then of 85, and then Pelly, and then 87 with Hextall. But Edmonton was powerful. So were the Islanders. They won 4 in a row, and then the Oilers won 4 in a row, and then Montreal got mixed up in there, and then of course I played for Boston in '90, and then Minnesota, which we came from behind, but Boston might have been the second chance that I had good chance to win the Stanley Cup, because the first game in Boston was triple overtime. The lights went out, and it was like, and then Klimo scored. So just makes the difference. Like one goal like that makes a big difference in the series. Yeah. You have to get out at the start and try to get a good start, and but sometimes it doesn't work. But at least I contributed every time, and so I'm still proud. My playoffs, my stacks are like number 1 all for left winger scoring in the history of the game.
Yep.
But I'm a good two-way player, and so people respected that. Like even for the Flyers, like maybe I didn't score more points, but we knew we were there to win, and so it didn't matter. Like with Bob Clark, he didn't care points. He said as long as you win. It's like some of these guys now, like they play for the points,
cookies,
and they don't win anything. So
exactly.
It's just it depends on who you talk with. But the playoffs are where it makes the difference.
Yeah.
Right. I was going to ask you. You played for some pretty big name coaches, which we talked about a little bit. Pat Quinn, Keenan. You played for Paul Holmgren as well. Yeah. And Gainey, Bob Gainey. Do you have like a favorite coach that you ever had?
Well, I like Pat was, I liked him because he talked all the time and he put it together. But Keenan, I liked Keenan because he wanted to win every game.
Yeah.
And Gainey, he came with Bob Clark.
Right.
But he had a little different system. He had the left wing loft, which I hated, but you had to worry. But with Minnesota, I played with Mike Madonna and Gagne the first year,
Right.
and a couple of years after that, and we had Bellows and Broughton and a couple of things like that, and Casey. So it was fun. And then last year in Hartford, it was kind of like off and on because like I signed as a free agent, and then Paul Holmgren was a coach, and he took me to play, and so that way at least it gave me a chance to get my 1,000 points in 1,000 games at the end of the year. I didn't play that much throughout the year, and so that's why I decided to play a year in France after that. Just to I was looking like I was the smartest player in the world playing in France because Lockeye was before that. So hey, I'm playing and you're not.
Yeah, right.
You're not getting to play. Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Is there like certain, like you mentioned Keenan, because he wanted to win? Is there any like characteristics like maybe even outside of Mike Keenan that you liked of coaches like? Because every player seems to be coached a little different way. Some guys like to be pushed. Some guys like to be left alone. What coaching style worked for you?
Well, I was such a good player, and we always played with good teams, so we always had great leadership, like Mark Howe, Dave Poulin, Brad McCrimmon, Bob Clark. So all good leaders, and so we didn't have to talk about how we're doing because we won a lot,
right?
And so we knew how to win and how to take care of ourselves. So what Keenan didn't, he had kind of easy when we were there in the 80s. But for these other guys that struggle, like in Hartford, it was a little different because we weren't winning, and then Paul went to the GM, and then Pierre McGuire took over.
Yeah.
So but it was at least I was just there. And hey, I'm going to try as hard as I can, practice as hard as I can, just to go out there and give a good effort, and you do what you do. Like I do just at the Flyers game and saw Sean Burke. He was at I think he's a scout or something like that. So, but he was a goalie that we had in Hartford, and so you know that he tried as hard as he can. But yes, for coaches, it's a little different because now there are 32 teams, and it's so tough to get in the playoffs. And now, if you get in the playoffs, you're the better teams. But you never know. They still have a chance when you get in the playoffs because it's kind of evil.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure. You got a shot. Just get there.
He's got to get there.
You just got to try to get there. Yeah, for sure.
So, just kind of going back on that question around the coaches. I know you had great teams. It was almost easy, right? It was almost like the team coached itself. But as maybe growing up, again, you always saw on good teams. Was there just a way a coach communicated to you or didn't communicate to you that you appreciated or didn't?
Yeah, well, I think that if I was having a bad game, I know the coaches would probably just let you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that many good.
You got 500 points in 200 games.
So sort of like Mike Recchi. He was such a consistent player that you never had to worry about.
There's nothing to say to the guy almost.
Pittsburgh and other.
Right.
So it makes a big difference. But as long as the effort's there and they're trying, sometimes you get little draft or something like this that doesn't work for you, but you know that you're positive and you do everything as you can, and your mental part of the game is where you're better. That's why when we had Steve Rosenberg from the Flyers, a psychologist, talking with us, like Mark Howe and Brad McCrimmon and myself and Dave Poole and all the top players are the ones that used it. And so I did some some brainwave relaxation techniques that have really helped me when I had a nap for 20 minutes, and then it kind of puts itself together. And I noticed that in the 80s, I did another one to score goals in the playoffs, and then, and so I just thought about, hey, you just have to try to score every game,
Right.
and make it better. So like all these positive things and relaxation make a big difference on in your life and as a player.
How you perform,
because some of these guys, they don't try, or they're a little scared. I don't know why, but it makes a big difference. Positiveness is
it's a real thing.
Awesome.
Raising that vibration.
Definitely is.
No, it's I just ask those questions because, well, I guess at the end of the day, when you're producing at the level you're producing, you keep the flies away. Like the coaches leave you alone, right? If you're winning and you're scoring and producing consistently, I mean, what's the coach really going to say? I think it's, guys like Mike Keenan probably prey on guys that are, maybe a little weaker mentally and or not producing at that level that maybe you were. So
but I think most of the coaches that want to challenge everybody else, like they try something different, because when they get into the playoffs and even though they try different line combinations, because maybe if something's not working, that they have to change it around. So it's like football, like they have plans that they use, and that you have to mix it up every once in a while.
Sure.
And so all the good coaches, like they know what they have to do. They're challenging the other players. That's why Bob Clarke was such a good leader. He taught all the people that were players. He gave them encouragement to get better as they can. Like I never forget that Bill Clement, he was injured, and Bob Clarke told him, "Hey, listen, can you play? We really need you here." And that big difference, just having him to play, and just that's the way he led by example. It's like a lot of people don't take the time to lead by example. They're just worried about themselves. But winning the whole team makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the truth.
I remember, Riles, you made me think like you played with the late Ilka Sinisalo, which what a great guy. I remember him; he would always tell me, "Hey, my dad used to play a lot of golf in the summers here, so I'd go join him once in a while." And he told me a few Keenan stories, or Keenan would get on him a lot, and he said the one night he sat him basically the whole third period. You guys get a power play, and he kind of kicks Ilka in the pants and says, "Think you could score a goal, Sinisalo?" And he just turns around and goes, "Pretty hard from here, Mike." And I said, "No way." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I didn't give a shit."
Oh, Mike probably loved it too.
Oh, he probably did. He goes, "Get out there." But he told me a few of those stories. I just laugh.
It was a time that in Buffalo, and Eriksson, the Swede, he
Thomas
got
Eriksson,
hit with a knee tack with a puck, and so he made him play because he had a broken neck,
kneecap,
right?
Yeah. So he made him keep playing.
Yeah, that's my dad told me that story.
That's unreal.
He's like, "Mike, something's wrong with him." He's like, he broke a play, and they finally get him up there, and he broke
broken
his kneecap.
Oh my god, that must have been fun to play with.
Oh my
god,
that would be a lot of fun.
Oh god,
Jesus, this is a broken kneecap. I got a question about where were some of your favorite places to play, like in NHL, like favorite cities, buildings, whatever.
Well, I always liked Montreal, the old building there, because they practiced. They had their own ice, and so they had good ice. But I always remember like seeing all the Stanley Cups, the banners that they have, because the history and playing in Canada and growing up in Canada, it's special for me just to go there. And of course, like in Montreal, all the restaurants, the food is out of this world. It's so nice. And then my second favorite city is Chicago, because the old rink, because they had singers, and the national anthem was loud, and so that was just. I didn't know what's going on, because now they all got horns and things like this, so it's kind of put it in different things, but there, and then it's so like when I got scored against, I heard it. It was like I was like, whoa! I was wanted to try to not to get them to score. So, but the city is really good too. Like it's a lot of fun.
I like Chicago too.
In the '80s, like we had beer and like we hang out in pubs, and that's where you hung together, and you just had a beer here and there. But we controlled everything. But it's so different now because now all phones and videos that you can't get away with anything. It's more fun in the 80s.
Right. I've heard some of the stories, but we won't talk about. But it's funny you say Montreal. Good food, good nightlife.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad. I got the experience.
You didn't mention the Shane Show.
Yeah, Shane Show. It
was a great road trip there.
But you're right,
All
Chicago. Those are two great cities, man, and a lot of fun. And I remember I was in college and I flew into my dad. Actually, Clarky put him in Kalamazoo. When you guys were in Minnesota, and I flew up to see my dad over the Christmas break, and Minnesota was playing in Chicago, and my dad, we drove from Kalamazoo. It wasn't that far, but we drove into Chicago just so I could see the anthem, and we watched about 10 minutes, and then we went back. But it blew me away. It was amazing to see it in the old barn. It was really, really cool. Get you jacked up to play. Like whichever side you're on, for sure. Do you ever have any superstitions, Proppy? Like, like before a game, day of, or anything like that?
So I think that I used to put the pad left and to the right first, and then. But other than that, like, I didn't have many things. Like some guys are different. Like they're worried about their skates and their Stooks and you name it, But I I just used the same stick almost just until it broke.
Really,
the Titan, the wood ones. So like they're heavy and you couldn't bite them, or break them. But yes, for me it was just I think left and right, just the way you dress, just a little different.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
We've seen some craziness.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
Guys get extreme with their.
Dude, these guys, a lot of these guys take their gear out every once in a while. I know that one guy showered before every game.
A lot of guys do.
I've been going 3.5 years now, but they were doing they do full out workouts almost, like getting ready for games,
guys.
Literally in the weight room, and they do all this stuff, and a lot of guys shower. Claude always made me laugh. Claude Giroux literally would come in 2 minutes before the guy. Everyone's dressed, standing up. He would come in and get dressed in about a minute before warm up, and after every period, he takes every single thing off. And then gets redressed. Richie used to do that as well. I hate getting dressed. I know. It's just a lot, but it's crazy how some guys
fast.
Yeah,
there was obviously no panic there.
No.
They loved
pretty good players too. Pretty good players.
Pretty relaxed players.
But I just wondered if you had any superstitions. You brought up Hexy a little bit ago. I remember my first year here, we made a trade to get Hextall back. It was a half-season lockout, 94, 95 year, and I remember as a kid, I loved all the guys, but I just thought Hexy, because he came in that year as a rookie and then ended up winning the MVP in the playoffs and all that. Like, I just was in awe of him. I think he was a little nuts, a little nuts. But I remember saying to my dad, "Hey, I want to talk to you." Like, no, wait till you can say hi. Don't have to. You can say hi. I don't know. Okay,
just gotta chew your head off or what?
But I remember when he came to us from the island. Obviously, he had already played in Philadelphia. I was working, and I'm watching this guy before a game, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I know.
Stay out of his way.
Fucking biting his nails, feet going. I'm like, he's wasting more energy, with the way he, But I was gonna say, I'm not sure if he had superstitions, but I didn't go near him.
Oh yeah.
The way the sticks, like talking to posts.
That was one of his.
But
things.
Also I know, because I did the radio for 9 years for the Flyers, and so I used to skate in the warm up or in the pregame skates. In the mornings.
Right.
Okay.
So I'd skate and I'd shoot against him a couple times, and I could score almost at will. So
just pissing him off before game time.
No, but this is just in practice. But he got so mad that he fired a puck, almost hit me over the because I scored. This is just
you didn't Guffaw him, did you?
No, I was doing the radio. But I was doing the radio, and it's he
just piss him off, eh?
Well, yeah, because he almost fired the puck. Well, he shoot the puck so
he
well
can
because
shoot
he
it.
changed the way the goalies play.
That's
right.
The way he shot the
He sure
puck.
did.
But so like so that was just a little because I decided not to skate.
Skate when that was in. Hey, don't get
They're
hurt.
gonna shoot on you.
Well, no, just because he
Fire him up too much.
I know how to score. Like
Yeah,
I pick the
right,
corners
right.
and
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
drive him crazy. Like just like practice when he was there. Like I'd go to practice and I'd wait until the end and I'd get the rebounds and I'd go until I score.
And he hated that.
Drive him crazy.
I can see that. Yeah, goalies don't like to get scored on, and goal scorers love to score. I mean, what a shocker.
That's right. That's right. That's
well, he
funny.
did come to your defense, did he not? You get a 12-game suspension, I
Yeah.
think, for blowing up Chelios.
in the playoffs. Yeah, because that was the year. Like I was leading the league in scoring, and then Chelios hit the really bad hit.
That was
Yeah,
terrible.
it was terrible.
Like just he wanted to hurt me.
Yeah, he
like
did.
I could almost die there too because I
was
can't
ugly.
believe that I missed one game. It's
crazy.
With 2 minutes left, like at least he responded, which I admire him for that, his leadership, because he hated to lose, and he just and Chelios is not one of my favorites, and so
that was dirty.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't dirty.
Yeah, that was
Definitely
unnecessary. And then kind of building off, I guess some bit of the fighting. We had Brownie on last week, talked about the Montreal Brawl. I actually flipped open your book and saw a chapter around that specific game and brawl. I mean, maybe shed some light from your perspective, because we got Brownie's perspective and a couple others.
Well, I know Nyland was looking for Brownie because he wanted nothing to do with you. He knew
Knuckles is, he was dodging proper.
He was dodging Proppy. But what a scene that was.
Oh yeah, well that was before the playoffs, and before you had more players in the warm-ups. Like you had like 22 players each.
Yeah.
So like that's why Ed Hospodar was there and a couple other guys when like Knockbill. But we had tough teams, and so did Montreal.
Oh yeah.
But it was it was a thing that they had, like they always wanted to score after warm up, and then Chichu wrecked, and then he decided to to stop Lemieux from scoring, and so then Ed Hospodar was there and started to fire, and then everything went crazy, and the refs were in the room, so they didn't get back for like 10 minutes,
right?
And so it went on for like 15-20 minutes, and but Brownie, like, he didn't have any equipment on, he couldn't grab a hold.
That's right.
And then Crossman had flip flops.
Yeah,
you see my dad, Sudsy's trying to pull him off, going, "You're going to get stepped on here, buddy." Like, get
Oh
off
my
the
God.
ice.
That's Doug.
That's totally Cross.
I always like call him Kramer, because it's like when he comes around a corner, from Seinfeld.
Yeah, right.
He's like, his hair, he's all disheveled, but he's a great guy. He was a hell of a player too.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
A really good player.
Oh man.
I was gonna say, like, when you're in a situation like that, obviously the last thing the team wants you to do, or you need to be doing, is fighting. Did you have your head on a swivel, like, just in case? Because back in the day, guys would sucker.
Oh yeah.
Sucker.
Oh, yeah.
So like, you got to be aware of what's going on.
Yeah, I think so. So like I think I went with Bob Smith. But Bob Smith was a good player, but he was a tough player too.
Yeah.
But you just kind of walked around, like, a couple of guys had fights, but you just kind of stood around. But they couldn't leave. They didn't leave Hextall on because Keenan wanted. Otherwise, he would.
Oh yeah, right.
Been in there.
Oh,
right.
So
Yeah.
like Hextall was when he was in the room.
Did you guys have to lock the door?
He had a roadblock there. Let him out.
That was something different. It was in Montreal, and so there might be a couple of recordings for that. Most of them were French announcers, but it was just something different. And of course, we won that series.
Yeah, you did.
Forced the game to 7 games.
Yeah. What a wild scene. Yeah. You played with some amazing players. Like, who would you say, like, I mean, Wayne Gretzky, Lemieux, some of these huge names, like, best player that you were on the ice with, that you witnessed, like, doing their magic?
Well, of course, Lemieux and Gretzky in the Canada Cup, and also like Lemieux, like in the playoffs, like he had 8 points that won 5 goals, and
insane performance.
But we always had, we kind of Sutter boys, like, drove him crazy too. But of course, the top players, and of course Ray Bourque was an unbelievable player, because you're never sure because he's offensive and defensively really good. And then, of course, Mark Howe. He's most of the underrated players that we ever had. He was so quiet and he didn't say much and humble and just like his dad. And, but I'm glad he got in the Hall of Fame. And he deserved it to be 4. Like he could have won a couple of the Norris treatments, like because Landmore like 3, and so he was better than that. But he didn't. Mark doesn't care what the things like. He just it's like me, like all the trophies and everything I have, I've given to my family or nieces and uncles. Like, what am I going to do with trophies? I mean, they're just
things, right? Yeah.
Who's going to do with them? Give them away.
Yeah. People appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What else you got, Nast?
Just amazing that you're here with us. So happy. You went through a lot, man. This book, it's awesome. Can't wait to read it. We thank you for your time, buddy, and making the trek out to see us. You're a legend. Your Hall of Fame numbers. I hope you can get in there somehow because you definitely deserve it. And we thank you.
Well, thanks. Thanks for having me, guys. I know it was, but it's still for me. The story is about. It's not about hockey. It's about my stroke, and I recover from stroke because I can help a lot of people in the world just by calling them and giving them hints to get better.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And where can listeners find you or see you on social media?
Well, so I have my Facebook page, like at Brian Propp or Brian Propp 26. A couple of that. I've got LinkedIn. I've got YouTube, and I've got Twitter or X now. Yeah. So I've got a lot of things there. So like I post like every once in a while, and so like I have a lot of fans that are there. But anybody who wants to buy the book, it goes on Amazon or in Canada it's Indigo. But my BrianPropp.com website is up there. My brother runs it, and also I have my own cigar brand, GuffawCigars.com. If anybody's interested in cigars, like they're quality cigars from the Dominican Republic, and I have them on my website too. So like if they want a nice gift for Thanksgiving or Christmas,
that's right around the corner.
There we go.
Good
I always have them with me.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Well, I appreciate you making the trek and stopping by and sharing some stories, and it's beautiful books here.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah,
thanks, Riley and Derek.
You got it, buddy.
Big thank you to our good friend Brian Propp. Propper.
Yes, sir.
Popping on. Guffaw.
Get out, grab this book, Angel on My Wing. Story of faith, determination, and courage.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait to read this one. It's awesome.
Yeah, powerful message. Yeah. Resilience. Attitude, right?
Yeah.
The positive attitude. He kept talking about it and how powerful that is while you're thriving and in the middle of your career or dealing with some adversity in life. How powerful the mind is.
Stuff. He's lucky, man.
Yeah.
That goes the other way a lot of times, and he actually, he's, as he was saying, he still has a few limitations, but man, he's just grateful to be alive and great guy. Nice guy, man. Great seeing him. See him a lot at the games and stuff. And, always signing stuff for fans, kids, and really goes out of his way to do that for people.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and
it's great.
And I guess say it's powerful to see a guy not just like accept the recovery as it is, just going above and beyond.
Right.
The fact that he's still playing hockey and putting on tournaments and games and golfing, all this stuff, because it could be easy to just kind of make an excuse and just kind of sit back and play victim and whatnot. But he hasn't done that, and the way I see it, he keeps getting better. Like I think his speech and everything is more clear every time I speak with him, and obviously the mobility and the rest of it's coming back.
He can still guffaw.
Oh, he can still guffaw. He can still score. Yeah, he still wheels out there. So,
and I can guarantee if he scores 15, you're getting 15 guffaws, baby.
Oh,
you're getting them all.
You better believe it.
You didn't know this. You remember a name, Tim Tookie?
I know the name.
He played a ton of American League games. Played about 100 games plus, maybe 106 games in the NHL. He was an amazing American League. Just could score. Mm-hmm. Got called up a lot when he was with the Flyers, and I remember him. But I was asking my dad. He wasn't 100% sure, but I'm 99.9% sure he scored a goal. I remember him scoring a goal. I think it was a playoff goal, and he did the Gafooey.
Gafooey?
He went down, and the guys thought it was funny because he did the opposite of Proppy going that way.
Yeah.
And we got some women's basketball on. No, sorry. Yeah, the Guffaw. And I was telling Tom Bunning and a couple of guys, Elvis's teammates' dads, we were sitting upstairs all week, and I was talking about that, and Tom just thought it was a funny thing. He said, I'm looking for this. So anyway, Proppy, thanks, man.
Yep.
Getting better every day and doing good things, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what time it is, Nast?
I think I know.
Yeah, it's that time.
Is it Klyr Rum time? Klyr Rum questions brought to you by Klyr Rum. Go to klyrrum.com/shop. Type in Nasty 2023 and get 35% off of your order. PA residents only. Baller, what do you got?
What's up, boys? We have Anthony Giampaolo over on Twitter leading us off today. He wants to know, why does the NHL play on Canadian Thanksgiving but not on American Thanksgiving?
I think that's simple. NFL.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That's all anyone's doing. I mean, you may have some people watching. If you got two TVs, you know they got everything going. But I would say that's probably the reason. That's a big NFL day. And
a little different national sports.
Yes, a little bit different. So that's my thinking.
That's it. Canadians are hovering around the TV on
You're not watching CFL?
They're not watching CFL. Not watching high school b-ball.
No, you're not.
Strictly watching hockey games, and that's the way it is.
That's the way
it's always been.
Yeah, that's what I think. Good question.
Mike Pohl, 72, over on Twitter, wants to know. He says, I like Torts as a coach. Do you feel young players like Farabee, Brink, and Frost are not developing under his leadership?
Well, touchy question. No, but sometimes I get that feeling a little bit. You know, Torts is a different type of coach. He's a harder coach. He likes to do his thing. I think Bobby has made some strides this year, but maybe some of the other younger guys I don't feel like have, like we were expecting. Yeah, I mean, we're also not in there every day, but we do talk to guys, and but no one's saying anything in a negative light. But maybe a little bit, maybe, you know, like Joel and Frosty, they're getting a little older. They're obviously not old, but they're getting a little older. And maybe you shouldn't squeeze the stick as much, but sometimes it really looks like they are. And it's, you know, like when you're getting an earful every day, you know, Frosty's been scratched, comes back, played with Matvei, which I think I said that at the beginning of the season. I would love to see a guy as skilled as Frosty play with him.
Yeah.
You maybe stay with a line for a little bit more than, you know, if it doesn't work for a period. Like, you know, I can understand if you're getting 3 goals against, okay, I get it. But but you could see a chemistry with him in Matvei in my eyes. I thought they played really well together the other day. And but I think sometimes, you know, it's just, we've talked a lot about this, and especially in the last couple of weeks. I'm not comparing Torts to Keenan by any means, but like he is a louder coach. You know, I saw him do an interview the other day. I think it was he was talking to Biz.
Right?
Yeah, he was talking to Biz, and he said he's more of a right at
deal
the time
with it right in the moment.
Happens, deal at it at the moment, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But he can't as much with Matvei because he doesn't understand, and I think part of that Matvei acting like he doesn't understand a little bit. But to answer the question, in my opinion, I think sometimes it may bring them back a little bit.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. It's hard to quantify because you wouldn't know what it would look like in another scenario, right?
True.
So a coach should be challenging their players. You know, I think if it's going beyond just challenging them in a productive, positive way, if it's, you know, starting to get into the mind games, like that's different. And I don't know that, you know, but it's tough for young guys, right? I mean, you know how it goes. I mean, Farabee had a pretty damn good season last year. You know, moving and grooving. Frosty, I thought, come around towards the end of last year too. It's a tough league. You know, it's hard to say that it's one guy that's slowing them down, because there's a couple other guys you could argue that are, you know, not where they need to be either.
Right.
And maybe a little older guys, a little more established guys, but you know, you can't always, you know, point to the coach. But I don't know. You know, like, I don't want to sit here and say that I know that for sure. again, I do know that he can be abrasive and he can be hard, as you expect. Coaching could be. I think it lands up being on the individual how you respond to various types of coaching, and at the end of the day, it's about performance. A guy like Frosty's been snake bitten. You got rewarded the other day, a little tip in front of the net. I think you had a point blank shot there. I think if some of these go in, it just gives you that extra space, or maybe you can get you can allow the coach to kind of breathe around you a little more. But when you're expected to score, and now he's playing, play with Matvei a little bit there, some creative guys. Like if you get a little momentum and you start generating, maybe that maybe it doesn't seem like that as much, but. It's been a challenging season as a collective, and when it's challenging as a collective, generally like the individual parts are challenging as well.
Right.
And so it's a good question.
Yeah, it's a great question.
It's, obviously a valid point, a valid observation, or at least for a valid conversation. I'm just not sure I could really make a comment one way or another, but appreciate the question.
Yeah.
Todd Shannon over on Twitter wants to know, when everybody is healthy, what are your defensive pairings?
That's a great question, too.
Yeah, it's a good question. My top pair is going to be Yorkie and Sandy.
Yep.
Sandy, man, he's
on fire,
this
man.
guy is all over
the
the ice, and it's so fun to watch. And he's got a confidence right now,
swagger.
and it's. I got to talked to him the other night, and I told him, I said, "You're playing some fucking good hockey, man, and just
all that coaching and
keep it up." He should be thanking you. But he is playing really, really well. I mean,
he is.
He makes a play in the defensive end, and next thing you know, he's leading a run. Like he's going to the net, but he's getting back. It's not like he's
he's
leaving
galloping.
He's just going. But I would say you got Yorkie back. I think Yorkie's a really, really good player. And I don't mind them together. I know you got two lefties out there, but to me, that's your top pairing. That's just my opinion.
What do you got? Risto? You think when someone's healthy? I mean,
I think Risto's even played.
I thought he's been offensively too.
Year here so far, in my opinion. I like Risto. He's playing with Andre right now.
Yeah.
I don't mind that at all. That kid's really stepped in.
He
played
seems
well.
confident, putting pucks to the net, engaging in the offensive attack.
I agree. Like he does not look out of place, and I can't take Seal. I just wouldn't take Seals out. I think he brings too much to the table, blocking shots. He fights if he has to. That's just my opinion. Who do you got playing with him if you're talking about your third pairing?
I mean, it's a tough
if
one.
You're healthy.
On your perspective. I mean, obviously having a guy like Drysdale that's mobile, can move pucks, would be nice to have him in the lineup. You probably like to think that he could be better than a third pairing.
Right.
He's obviously dealing with a lot of injuries. Maybe some veteran presence like EJ.
Yeah. Right hand shot as well.
He he's got 1,000 games in NHL. It might be nice to have him in the lineup there too.
Right.
So it's hard to really say concrete wise how that plays out. But Andre might be maybe squeezed out of that pairing. To the third pairing too. Who knows?
Right. Yeah.
But they keep playing. The way they have. But maybe a little veteran presence. You got the toughness there with Seals.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you keep them if you make them a pair or not. But I don't know.
Maybe if Drysdale's in and he's playing with Seals, he feels a little more comfortable. I'm not saying he doesn't look to play scared or anything.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe you got
a little extra confidence.
I can jump into the play, which I think is what you wanted from him. But like you said, we got to get this guy healthy.
Yeah, and you'd like to think the same with Risto. If he's playing with Risto, could he maybe some version of that too, right?
Yeah,
I mean, taking care of the home base, let the other guy kind of gallivant and get up the ice. And that being said, like as you mentioned, Risto has been, more involved in the offensive part of the play.
He has.
He's looking better. So that's it, right?
Yeah. Good question.
Mm-hmm.
This is the last one we got. This one's from Laces Out Dan over on Twitter. Are you surprised to see D'Lo scratch so much in Michkov's rookie season?
I've been a little surprised.
I have, because I think there's some guys that aren't performing where we thought they would be after good years last year. I am a little shocked.
Yeah.
I am.
And I'm not even sure if it has anything to do with Michkov. It's just like having his presence in the lineup a little bit more than he has been, which has been, I don't know how many games he's played, but it hasn't been many.
It hasn't been many.
So I am shocked. Not sure I'm shocked because it has anything to do with Michkov, but that being said, having a young elite player in the lineup could use a little extra toughness. Doesn't seem like he needs it. He's still performing on the highest level and producing.
Is.
So
he mixes it up too. He's not afraid.
He's not afraid.
So I like that about him.
That argument could be a wash, but I'm surprised. Yeah, I always think a guy like that is nice to have in the lineup, but obviously they're seeing it a little bit differently. He's getting a little bit older, and maybe they're saying that maybe the foot speed's not quite there, even though he's pretty damn fast in a straight line.
Yeah, he
get on the hunt, get on the forecheck, blow guys up. And as you mentioned, like they haven't exactly been winning every game, and guys have maybe been underproductive. Could probably squeeze them in a game or two just to kind of ruffle things up a little bit.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I'm a little surprised. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, me too. Good question.
Mm-hmm. And that's a wrap.
That's it.
Clear questions in the books.
All right.
Another episode 181.
181 Riggs.
Creeping on 200.
Oh boy.
Hard to believe.
It's hard to believe.
All right, knuckleheads. Until next week for 182. Same old spiel. Be sure to hit us up with some good questions, clear questions. Hit us up on social media. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Do everything.
Anything you can do. Appreciate it all. Until next week, stay safe, knuckleheads.
See ya.